Well, Governor Mitt Romney arguably making his most important speech on foreign policy to date. The presumptive Republican nominee in Jerusalem visiting one of Judaism's holiest sites and pledging to stand by Israel and keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. And just 2 days ago, President Obama signed a new U.S.-Israel security bill agreeing to send $70 million in military aid. Joining us for a fair and balanced debate on the two men's policy on Israel and the Middle East, Neal Asbury is a radio talk show host of Made in America and is the CEO of Legacy Companies, and Ellen Ratner, the bureau chief of Talk Radio News Service and a Fox News contributor. Thank you both for joining us. So what did you think about the Governor Romney's speech today? Ellen, I'll start with you.
Well, listen, I thought he made a speech with a few specifics. Of course, he's saying he's not going to criticize the Obama policy when he's on foreign soil. However, look, both Obama and Romney are going after the Jewish vote. That's what this is all about. It's totally about politics.
And what do you think, Neal? What did you think about Governor Romney's remarks today?
Oh, I think Ellen is absolutely correct. I mean, it's all about the Jewish vote, and I believe the Jewish vote will be essential, especially in a state like Florida. But getting back to the Israeli policy, American policy towards Israel, President Obama had this historic opportunity in June of 2009 to support the Green political movement that was out in the streets in Tehran and wanting to take down the theocracy, but he was nowhere to be found. And I think that President Romney would make a huge distinction between himself, because he would have been there to support the pro-democracy movement, and we would not have this inevitable showdown between Iran and Israel that's going to come up because of this inaction. And I think that Governor Romney is out there trying to make that distinction, not on foreign soil, but when he gets home, I'm sure he'll start to draw those lines.
Well, Neal, to be fair, on Friday, as we mentioned, President Obama did sign a new U.S.-Israeli Security Act, announced a previously authorized $70 million in U.S. funding for Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system specifically. So, Ellen, I would ask you, what about the timing of that?
Well, listen, again, everything has to be seen through the lens of this. He knew that that Governor Romney was going to be in Israel, so of course he's going to draw attention to his policy. But I just want to say this. Listen, I've spent a lot of time in the Mideast. I've been to Iran, I've been to the UAE, I've been to Israel, been to all those places, been to the West Bank, and there's a lot of backdoor deals that go on that we have no idea what's going on. There's a lot more close connections than we have, than the public knows about. So this is a very complex issue, and frankly, I don't think either of the sides are going to explain it, because so much of it happens behind closed doors.
And you are right. It is very tricky, especially when you're on foreign soil, and there has been a little bit of controversy. Earlier, a Romney advisor told reporters in previewing the governor's remarks that he was making today, he talked about, if Israel is going to take action on its own in order to stop Iran from developing the capability, the governor would respect that decision. Governor Romney backing off on that a little bit today, emphasizing that he was using his own words and that he respects the right of Israel to defend itself, and saying we stand with Israel. Now, in response to Governor Romney, here's what Senator Dick Durbin had to say on Face the Nation.
I understand Mitt Romney's on this political tour, doing this fundraiser in Israel. But the point is, the president has had to sit down, as he has over and over again, with Prime Minister Netanyahu and work out a sound policy to avoid the prospect of war.
So, Neal, I ask you, how has Governor Romney handled talking about foreign policy overseas? How has he handled it?
Well, I think that the Jewish American voters, I think all American voters, have to understand, if this has to happen, if Israel has to go it alone and take out an Iran nuclear capability, which I don't think sanctions work. I mean, we could take a look at Cuba and Syria and North Korea, and we can argue about sanctions. I believe it's inevitable that's going to happen. So who do you trust once that happens to stand by our true and trusted ally, Israel? The unwavering support that Governor Romney is giving, or this sort of confused and convoluted support that President Obama has been giving? He's been too busy getting awards in Saudi Arabia and making speeches in Cairo to even visit Israel. And the ironic thing is, according to Pew Global Research, that America's standing in the Arab countries have actually gone down since 2008. So these policies are not working. So
okay,
who is going to stand by Israel in this time of need?
I have to wrap you up, and we do know that President Obama won the Jewish vote in 2008. We'll see if it's up for grabs this time around. 100 days until now. We'll see who wins it then. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.